Okay. I'm gonna turn extra goofy because I'm excited.
Yay!
And you can't really you're in your
so don't look.
anyways.
Don't look.
I mean, it's okay, but whatever. I did offer to show them ahead of time, so.
Oh well, yes.
And our little.
She's a professional.
Yes.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events. Fortunate events. Fortunate events. A series of fortunate events.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi.
To the latest episode of the series of Fortunate Events, a podcast.
Yay!
Brought to you by who? It's still me, MeMeCherry. And today I'm joined by...
Me, Mother Two Spirit.
Woohoo! So off the top, because we've been trying to grow and evolve and change and apply, because it's one thing to learn, but it's another thing to apply.
Period.
Off the top, what genders would you like me to use when referring to you as?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's such a fun question. So, being like a two-spirit person, you can call me any and all pronouns.
Hey.
And I know that you address me with respect. So
Of
it's
course.
like, you could be like she, he, they, it, if you're feeling extra spicy.
Ow.
I'm in my creature era.
Okay, creature era. Not if you're nasty,
Well,
like
yes.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a little bit. I know that you were conjured up on this podcast as a name in games, in our previous season. And along the way, I started to see you on the scene, and I immediately became a fangirl. I'm so in awe of your performance, and because I've seen almost like the Zelda type Triforce. I've seen you on stage, I've seen you doing drag, and I've seen you doing more of like that performance art. I call it the Ghost Ship Fort Mason show. So tell me, I know we have a lot to get into.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about who Mud is and why the name Mud the Tooth Spirit.
Okay. Well,
Feel free
so
to bring
yeah,
this
here
close
we'll
to you. Yeah.
bring her in.
Yeah.
So one of my kind
There
of
you go.
growing up with it was me and my mom mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was me, my mom, my aunt, and my mom and my aunt. There's like 3 reasons why my name is Mud, but this is one of them. One of them is
Uno.
because numero uno. My mom and my aunt used to sing the song, and in the song they would say like, "Oh, my name is Mud," and that
Okay.
phrase, "My name is Mud," is a really old phrase that like nobody uses anymore. But
Okay.
it's essentially when you do something like really shameless and
Okay.
tasteless.
Okay. A
and
little divine-like.
just like in a way that's like, it's like you're doing something. It could potentially be read as like naughty or bad, but also like it's just read as like,
Something John Waters would approve.
well, yes. Yeah. And so like that phrase, that song is just kind of always trickled throughout my life.
Sure.
And then like just like mud as like a concept of like an element.
Yes.
It's like multiple, it's messy, it's dirty, it's wet, it's like fertile. It's yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know. I also like that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
And then Mud the Two Spirit. I feel like being Two Spirit is such a forefront aspect of my identity.
Yeah.
And so just adding that on makes this like gorgeous kind of title for people.
Yeah.
And I'm like a one name kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like I love like a Madonna or like a Prince. You know what I mean? So I've kind of talked about that before with some folks, but it's essentially like, it's like easy to remember. I feel like Mud is a pretty easy name to remember.
Yes, it is.
And it's, I don't know, it's a nice one-namer.
Yeah. And it's almost low-key gender neutral.
Well, yes.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes. No, so I obviously, again, found you and knew of you through references in drag performances through your partner, because you have a very illustrious partner. And so, your name kind of started coming up in the show. And then I remember, I think the first time I was officially like, okay, I'm a fucking fan, was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah.
The show, period. I went by myself, got myself the little VIP up front ticket. And
You were great.
Yeah, it was so much
You were
fun.
great.
And at the end, I like surprisingly got pulled on stage to be a part of like the closing number, which I was not expecting. And that was so much fun. And I immediately ran home and got the ticket for the closing night.
Yes. You're like, I have to go back.
Yes. And like your little squeaky squeal voice.
Yeah. My Carlton voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does something to me. Don't ask me what it is. And then I was fully cemented when we went to that spooky ghost house, ghost ship performance. So what's the actual name of that performance?
It's called the Twilight Aristocracy.
Okay.
And
tell the people about that show, and then
Well,
I'll tell you my experience.
Yeah, the Twilight Aristocracy was essentially like a prequel, I guess, sort of. To a show that we did the previous year. I did it with Detour Productions.
Yes.
That's run by Chironomi and Kat Cole, aka Sriracha. We love Detour. We stand Detour. I love being a part of anything Detour related.
Yes.
But I got to do a show with them called We Build Houses here last year. It was a contemporary dance, nautical themed, surviving an island shipwreck situation. So what this intended initially when we started working on this project was that it was like going to be a dance contemporary show that was like the people before they got into this like island crash situation, this like shipwrecked situation. So it started out as this like elite group of like people attempting to go and venture out into this new world, where they would be greeted by these sirens that would essentially like cause this shipwreck. But what it kind of like molded into was just kind of a nod to the elite, a nod to like cult culture, and then I was like, it was a nod to just like secrecy and like just like spookiness and witchiness.
Yes.
And it was I loved being in that show. That was so much fun.
The location is iconic. I used to work for a florist, as you can see.
Oh,
I
yes,
love
yes,
flowers. I've loved flowers since I was little. And so I used to work for a florist, also wedding planner, who now isn't even a florist anymore. Now she's just exclusively a wedding planner. And we used to do weddings at that venue.
Oh, at the governor's mansion?
Yes. And so
it is haunted down.
Yes. And low-key, there
so
was like
haunted.
a couple times that the lights would flash and I would blink my eyes and I would see the tables, how we would set them up for a wedding. And because especially at a venue like that, I used to have this saying like, always a minion, never a guest, always a minion, never a guest, which was also kind of like the vibe of that show.
Very.
As a spectator, that we're all minions. We're not guests, really. We're not really guests. We're just here watching this.
Yeah.
So me and Celeste on the way home were like having like, this is what good art is, because it makes you like have really good conversations. Because I was like, okay, low key at first I was like, oh, it's a cult who did like a cult pack on like unaliving themselves. And it kind of had like a vibe of like a very celebratory kind of like unaliving ceremony of some sort. And then along the way, you're kind of being pulled into these separate rooms and you're having like these very intimate performances. I didn't realize it was you. Like Celeste had to tell me it was you, which again blew my mind. And it's just how much you can like meld yourself into these characters. And then as the night goes on, you're watching the development of the story, and I'm not going to give it away, but at the end, it seems like they all like go into the light. And then I was like, what if this is like people who don't know that they're already unalive and that this is their journey across the river of death?
Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah.
So good.
I love that. And I love something that's up for interpretation.
Yes. And it was so
and
good.
I love I love immersion and immersive
Yes,
art. Like I think
yes.
it's like it makes an experience so much richer, I think, as a
Yes,
viewer.
yes.
And also like just as a performer, it's so much fun to like like hear what people got from these types of situations. So.
And it was a very like mommy daughter day with my drag mother. Like, oh, drag mommy's taking me out on a little fun date.
That's so cute.
So tell me, what was like the rose and the thorn of performing a show of that scale with those types of audience too? Because it's a different audience than the one that like at Oasis.
Well, yes. I feel like I think that one of the things that you have to be semi-weary of and also like hyper aware of is people's like energy levels. 'Cause sometimes if somebody shows up and their energy is like they really want to be involved with what you're doing, there's like a certain amount of like, yes, I want you to be involved, but also you're not the show. You know what I mean? Like you have to like kind of figure out how to keep people in check and how to like kind of energetically manipulate somebody without really saying anything.
That's its own dance.
Yeah, exactly. So like there's like that kind of like monitoring that aspect of things. It's also like trusting your castmates and trusting your crewmates and trusting that they are also like looking out for you and they have an eye on the whole thing. And also like trusting that the audience is down to go on the journey. And is down to like just kind of release all judgment from it. Like you just have to, it's a lot of trust.
Yeah, because some parts of it felt very intimate.
Yeah.
Like when you're being pulled into like a room, like it starts to feel like, oh.
Literally, me and Glampy T actually both of us had like solo moments where we like take a group of people into a room and
which is very trusting in itself.
Woo, yeah, and it's terrifying because it's like, okay, we don't know how people are gonna react, and sometimes people get anxious or sometimes people get
because they don't know what's going on.
So it's just like you have to present a space like, I know what I'm doing, you're in a safe space, you're in control, and also like release like suspension of relief and just like believing that you have to believe that you're in this world with me. So, but yeah, I mean, it is, I think the hardest part about it is when like drinking gets involved.
Yes.
Because people, oftentimes when people get drunk or people are drinking, their inhibitions to be tactile are like way lessened. And we are like just tactile humans. We like love to, like we see something that we like and we want to touch it.
And the performers are interacting with each other in a very physical way.
Yeah.
I can see how somebody can get wrapped up in it all.
Totally. So people really want to like touch or like grab or.
Is it okay if I do that?
No,
okay, I should ask that too.
Well, that's the thing is like, there are like we would have like props out or things like that where it's like, don't touch the props.
Yeah.
But people are like, oh, I want to touch it. I want to touch it. I want to know. Like that's another way of people knowing something is by touching it.
Can I touch?
Yeah. So it's I think that's the hardest part is when people get drinking. The easiest part is like when people are like down for the ride.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot more to get into. We're gonna be right back because my intrusive thought brain is like, is it actually recording?
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Double check. Triple check. You're like, what if it's not?
Oh my God. It's like, I swear, intrusive brain. And if it is, which it was.
Yes.
Midnight across America. We start our journey well into the midnight hour of our friends in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Join us as we follow midnight across the continent.
Come on, everybody. I'd play a Nina Simone song, but apparently that's really against the rules. In the meantime, we've got several lines still open. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it.
From Winnipeg to Waco, Madison to Monterrey, it's midnight in the Central Time Zone.
Billy, not Jimmy. David I have a feeling that David actually is going through something. I want to know why he's in a hotel, if he's in a hotel, and if he's not in a hotel, why is he fantasizing about being in a hotel?
From Calgary to Carlsbad, Missoula to Mazatlan, it's midnight in the Mountain Time Zone.
I was being naive. I'm not even naive. I was being fake. I was pretending. I know that I trigger people like David, and yeah, who gives a shit? Hey, Chris,
But we're
do
so
we
happy
have
he called.
a video to cleanse my mental state?
Yeah, let's cleanse David.
Let's cleanse Billy.
Keep a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love dreams. We'll be cuddling soon. We'll cuddle soon. Fly the silvery moon.
Vancouver to Vallejo, Salem to San Diego. It's midnight in the Pacific time zone. Thank you for joining tonight's broadcast as we followed midnight across America.
All right. Here we are doing drag. We're doing some drag. Oh my god, I'm so afraid of like getting paint on your shit. I'm so
Oh
scared.
no, you're okay. We're back.
Hi.
So this is a first for the pod. I'm very, very excited. We not only get to talk about the autistic process.
The process.
Autist with autists interviewing autists. We get to see the process.
Process, yes.
So, how? Tell me, Mud. How did you get into drag? How did you get into performing arts? Like, what is it about being a funky little theater kid that speaks to you so much?
Oh my god, that's so funny. When I think of theater kids, I'm like, ugh, gross. Oh.
That's what I say drag is. It's just all the cool theater kids.
I'm like, oh yeah, literally. Well, I feel like for me, I'm definitely a neuro spicy, right?
Yes. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I'm part of the neuro spicy club. And I think growing up, I had a lot of like creative energy and just like a lot of energy in general. And so when I was really little, actually, my grandma was like really close to this. She lives like really close to this really incredible public school. But it was all like arts based. It was a performing arts based like school. And so they were like, let's get this little kiddo in there.
Yeah.
And so I have been like performing on stage and been like on stage since I was like 4. I've been on stage forever. And I played all kinds of different roles, and it was always a lot of fun. And I played different roles on and off the stage, always. Like it's like if I was needed backstage, I would help backstage. If I was needed on stage, I could help and be on stage. It just kind of depended on like whatever they needed me to do.
Yeah.
And as I got older and my voice got deeper, I was often asked to do a lot of like quote unquote boy roles.
Sure.
Because I could sing all the low notes if
Yes.
they needed me to.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know, that's kind of where it all started, was like doing quote unquote boy roles and learning how to paint and like masculinize my face, whatever that means, right? Like masculinizing your face, like whatever. Yeah, right? Yeah, here I am. No, but just like I don't know, I like learned initially how to do like stage makeup. I was really bad at like just like normal human makeup, like just like everyday makeup. It was something I didn't really enjoy.
Human
wearing.
drag.
Yeah, human drag, totally. So then I don't know, I started to kind of play with like just play with makeup in general. But as far as like doing drag, like specifically drag, like as a drag king, I used to be more involved with like a lot of like volunteer community things.
Sure.
And there's this place, I'm from Sacramento originally, and there's this place in Sacramento called the Gender Health Center. And the Gender Health Center would put on like drag balls, and they would put on like queer proms and things like that. And
Cute.
I was like an MC oftentimes in drag. And that's kind of like where like I would do drag. I was not in the clubs doing drag, and it was never like, I never thought that drag could be something that I would get paid for.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I kind of just thought it was like a cute little fun side hobby.
Do you
thing.
consider yourself a professional drag performer?
I mean, at this point, yes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't.
Claim it.
I wouldn't ever think like, oh, this is gonna be my career.
Sure.
Like, oh, this is gonna be like my sole, like the thing that earns me money and like keeps me my bread and butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also, on top of that, I was never ever a like social media person.
Oh.
I did not enjoy social media.
This kind of tracks from like the little bit I've interacted with you.
I was always just very aloof. And so like the other part of
Yes.
get my ass.
Mud coated.
Down. No, I was very a little bit of a slippery fish to catch, and I didn't have social media, so people didn't really know how to like reach out to me
Sure.
to ask me about doing any other drag thing. So it was mostly
Sure.
like my friends would reach out to me or like whatever.
Yeah.
But over the pandemic is when that all changed for me. I really enjoyed the pandemic and like my solitude during the pandemic, and I was watching a lot of drag online, but I was just kind of like a ghost watcher. I didn't ever subscribe to anything because I didn't really have anything to subscribe with, but I would like watch drag, and I'd watch all of these really incredible performers performing, and eventually I was like, okay, maybe I'll get like an Instagram and I'll just do it for my drag, and then like I won't like post anything too crazy on it or too personal on it.
Insert here.
And then people figured out who I was. They were like, wow, where did you come from? Like, where do you even do drag? Like, and so then I was asked by like a club to go do a show.
What was that?
The first show I ever did was a club called Badlands in Sacramento.
Oh, I know Badlands.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I did my first show there, and like a whole bunch of people showed up, which is really, really sweet, and that made me feel so good and so special. And literally anytime I do drag and people like show up to like see me, it's like such an honor. You know what I mean? I'm always like, thanks.
You are one of those names now that when I see on the billing, because I joke that I come down from my crystal tower, and now you can see why it's like
it's
hard
gorgeous.
to.
It's gorgeous up here, by the way, y'all.
We're coming
It's
to
like
you from
perfect.
a secret location.
Truly a castle. Truly.
And so to me, if I see a mud and a cheetah on a bill,
Yeah,
I
that's my
am
sip,
there.
baby. It's so funny too, because like I would go to drag shows all the time.
Yeah.
And anytime, I mean, like now, if I can go and support a drag show, I absolutely
Of
will.
course.
But it's hard, like once you are like more in it and you're doing it more often, it's like way harder to be motivated to like go out to a club and be around people. And I always like joke, I'm kind of like a very closeted introvert. I
Same.
really very much love my like
People don't believe me when I say that.
my me time. Yeah, because it's like if you're friendly and you're nice and you know how to like conversation with people, and you are good at being social and you're good at socializing, like people automatically assume that you're like an extroverted person.
Yeah, when I tell people that I'm painfully shy, they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I drank alcohol for 20 years to like
You are preaching to the choir, baby.
4 months sober.
Yes, sobriety. Listen, cheers. Literally, cheers.
Recess, will you sponsor me, please?
Recess, sponsor this diva and icon.
Yes. And we also have our liquid death.
That's so necessary right now.
Oh my God, but yes, keep going.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think that kind of going back to your original question, like what got me started with drag was just like the ability for me. It wasn't necessarily about like I could be a boy. Like that was never what my drag journey has ever been about. It was more like I want to be entertaining and fun, and I want to be somebody that is inspiring to people, like being just like a multiply marginalized person, and like being a disabled person, being a brown, black, indigenous person, like, you
Sure.
know, like having these kind of overlapping identities. I think for me it was just like a really, I don't know, it was really important to showcase like you can be a gifted, fun
Yes.
slay.
Yes.
And also have to deal with this part of the reality of a lot of people's lives.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I can I can relate on a couple levels because first of all, when I was saying like welcome to the Neuro Spicy Club, like it's actually a relatively new thing for me to be knowing how neuro spicy I am. And when certain parts of it were unlocked to me, thank you therapy. After the last really like, you know, I had a really bad breakup at the beginning of the year and like I just really had to go figure some stuff out finally. And this is like years and years and years worth of like back to when I was a kid, really. And so part of that was, you know, and I'll be honest, like I did the BetterHelp route, which like people talk shit about it, but I was in crisis and I needed like immediate help.
I know some motherfuckers that have done BetterHelp and it has made a huge difference for them.
And
I do not clock. Like I think that's great.
And I got to the point that like, you know, I reached kind of like what they were doing for me and I'm kind of flying on my own now again. But it came through when I needed it. And in talking with that therapist over a few different things, what came up was, you know, she was like, well, I can't diagnose you, but I think you have ADD. And specifically because A, B, and C, like sometimes that, you know, I like doing a lot of different things, but sometimes even though I want to do something, I have a hard time kind of like focusing or transitioning from thing to thing. I am that one that like leaves the fridge open because I suddenly thought about something else while I'm putting the groceries away.
Vibe.
And
that's real.
Yes, but like what really unlocked some stuff was the rejection sensitivity disorder part of it all, which I really related to, and it unlocked memories of being like a child and my mom telling me something and me crying because my brain thinks alert, mommy's gonna leave. More than likely it's like the level of like Care Bears that are like coming in to defend me in my brain.
Sweet baby.
Yeah, and like my mom literally looking at me like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And those were like the responses I used to get, which then what was that make you do? You start suppressing your feelings, you start suppressing your emotions, then they bottle up, they explode. Anyways.
And you come from, your family is, they're not here.
I'm here by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that, well, there's like an extra layer of like cultural effects, you know, of like when you grow up as a brown person.
Yeah.
There's this like deep need to remain under the radar.
Yes.
For safety, for whatever.
Yes.
So it's like if there's any type of like emotion or any type of strong reaction to anything, it's like you're not only are you being crazy, but you're like being disrespectful and like you're gonna make our whole family look bad. It's like a whole thing. It's like, oh my God, I'm having a reaction, and it's like,
I know.
Yeah. So I hear you, I feel you, and that's
I know.
very real. That's
yeah,
very real.
and it was interesting because I work the day job. The undisclosed company sent me to London again this a couple months ago, and so I invited my mom to come spend some time with me because me and my mom have been like, we've had some stuff come up in the last couple of years that has been some interesting journeys. If you know, you know.
And mama trauma is real, honey.
Yeah, and like some serious shit like went down in the last few years that like, anyways. Again, if you know, you know. But some of the root of like why I truly believe some of that shit was even like allowed to even happen. Anyways, we're on our way back. We're at the airport. And we're talking, and I don't know how it started, but then she started talking about her childhood and like how, you know, my grandfather met my grandmother on Muscle Beach. He was 20 something, she was 15. And he moved her to Puerto Rico, and they moved back and forth. And so my mom was born in LA, but lived back and forth in Puerto Rico. And they broke up. And so my grandfather had, I guess, this like friend that was also like friends with my grandmother, but was more of a mom to my mom than anybody was. But at some point, and like the story's a little convoluted, but something about Annie choosing my mom over me was the story, and like the resonance, the feeling of like, why am I not good enough? Which is something that I can relate to, that I'm like unpacking years of like, why I allowed like weird abusive relationships was because I didn't feel good enough.
Right. Well, and it's also just like, it's like when you are used to that type of like if that is your norm, it's like, it's familiar.
Yes.
So it's like, even though we know that this is something that is not conducive to our wellness, we continue to perpetuate these like types of behaviors and connections with people because it's like what we know.
And sometimes
Just,
because
like,
we want to
so
fix
fucking
it.
weird.
Like this is a chance to fix it. This is like a subconscious chance to
Yeah.
fix it. So yes, generational trauma.
Maybe. And it's very strong, long-lasting effects.
Yes. And so I go down this path because you mentioned not only the neurodivergence, which I can relate to, but the disability aspect, because you have a very specific disability if you would like to share with the audience.
Yeah. So I am a gorgeous deaf and hard of hearing slay. Me and my hearing aids exist together as one. And it is a part of my identity that for a really long time I actually was like, I never considered myself like a disabled person.
Sure.
Which is so ironic because like when I thought of like what a disability is, I was like, oh, that's not me. Like I'm not that. But like, no, diva, no, like you're also disabled. And I was like, it like took me a long time to recognize like, oh, like I'm a disabled person.
And that's okay.
Yeah, well, because like the things that I saw growing up that were considered disabilities were so much more severe, or
And
so
visual
much more like
too.
Yeah, like so much more to the forefront with so many things, and also I mean even still like hearing and hearing aids in general, they're considered cosmetic. They're considered cosmetic.
It's like vision.
Like my cosmetic hearing. like you know what I mean? It's like there was a good chunk of
Cosmetic
time.
hearing.
Well, yes. There's a good chunk of time where
I like putting highlighter on my hearing
well,
aids.
yes, yeah, a little blush perhaps. There was a good chunk of time where I didn't have my hearing aids for a second. And there's no insurance coverage for hearing aids.
Yeah,
at
I remember
all.
the fundraiser.
Yeah, so when that fundraiser happened, shout out to like Lisa Frankenstein and
Nikki
Snacks,
Jizz.
Nikki Jizz, Suda. Like literally like my whole drag family just like came through for me and helped me raise money, and like the whole community really like helped me raise money for my hearing aids. And it was like such an emotional and beautiful moment to recognize like I can be disabled and supported.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like really special.
Come on, community.
Yeah. It was really, really, really special. So, yeah, I think that when I didn't have my hearing aids, I recognized how much harder I had to try with like literally everything because like I couldn't just grasp everything I needed to grasp. And that, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 months of just like not having hearing aids. And like when I finally got them back again, I was just like crying, you know, because I was like, this is crazy. Like how much of a difference and how much of an impact it makes on my life. And like, because I mean, most of my childhood I went without hearing aids because they were like, she just doesn't listen, or like, oh, this kiddo is just like really distracted, and like really just like, it's not the hearing, it's just like, you just need to like focus harder.
Oh man.
So yeah, for a long time, because my hearing is really, really bad in one ear and better in the other ear, but still not great. And something that I think people need to be more aware of is like deafness is a spectrum. Like it is a spectrum. Like some people, their deafness, what someone's deafness looks like is not the same for everybody else, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, I pride myself on being deaf, and I pride myself on being disabled in the sense that like, I embrace this aspect of me that I think for a long time, again, like culturally just being like, hush, hush, nothing's wrong. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, something could not be okay, and we can figure out how to like operate, you know? So, yeah.
Oh, I have so much empathy, especially for anything related to hearing or vision. I wear contacts, and like I have history of glaucoma in my family. So at 44 years old, I'm literally the youngest patient at the glaucoma specialist, but I go regularly to like go make sure that I'm on top of it because they don't see any yet, but it's like we want to catch it early kind of a thing.
1,000%.
And my grandfather, towards the end of his time, he started to lose his hearing, you know, pretty standard. And while he was still alive and it was still kind of happening and I didn't really like know how to empathize at that point, I unfortunately had an incident that left me deaf in my left ear for like 3-4 months.
Wow.
And I remember walking through the streets and that feeling of like when a truck goes by and like that meow, and only hearing it in one ear.
It's very disorienting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
like after I was so grateful it came back. I still sometimes like if there's like a lot of background noise, like I might have like a little bit of like like you know, I need to focus in a little bit. I might need to do one of these.
Yeah.
But
totally.
I was so gentle with him, you know, whenever I interacted with him because I knew what it felt like and how frustrating it can be because you can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything.
I mean, you can't be like you can and you can't, right? Like there's some people and some levels where like some help can be done. But he was very frustrated with his hearing aids because like it was still like he was like a little later down in the tooth, you know what I mean? And when like something that new is like like startling almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you for anybody that may one day eventually get hearing aids or like for anybody that has experienced this, when you get your first hearing aids, or like I guess I can compare it to a lot of times folks will have glasses. When you get glasses, you're like, wow, there's leaves on the trees. You know what I mean? Like when you get hearing aids, it's like there are sounds that you're like, I didn't even know that made a sound. It's like you are all of a sudden very aware, and it can be extremely overstimulating. Like my first time in a restaurant, I was like, I can hear every fork on every plate. Like it's crazy. But like once you like adjust and you get there, it's really great, and it makes such a big difference. Yeah. And cool part about hearing aids is like when you're all done trying to fuck with people, you just you're like, oh, sorry, girl, sorry, I forgot my hearing aids.
Talk about peace of mind.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, we're gonna continue to let Mud go down their artistic process, and we're gonna be right back after this commercial break.
Wee.
In my crumble opinion. Hi, I'm Phoebe Cakes, and you're tuning in to In My Crumble Opinion. Hello, my little crumb whores. Hi, my little crumb dumpsters. Hello, my little crumb guzzlers. Welcome, my little crumb dumpsters. Hello, my little crumb guzzlers. Hello, my little crumb hungry sub pigs. Hello, my little crumb buckets. Hello, my little crumb lovers. Oh my god, I said crumb lovers. Hello, my little crumb lovers. Go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me on all social media platforms.
Oh my god, that was so gay.
Yeah, that was gay. Once again, I am Phoebe Cakes. In my crumble opinion.
Stunning.
They're positively stunning.
Stunning.
And we're back.
Hi.
Look at that face. It just
More-
keeps changing every time we come
and
back. It's been so cool to see the process. I was like literally mind blown a few minutes ago. Like, wait, what? Is that how you do that?
Yeah, you're gonna see all my secrets.
I felt like a little kid, like.
Yeah, like when you watch your mom like get and do makeup. Totally.
Is that how my mommy does the makeup?
That's me. I'm mom. I'm so dad. It's fine.
It's okay. You're Dom?
Yeah.
Dad and mom?
I always tell people, I'm like, if Vera is grandpa, then I am dad.
Yes.
You know, it's very that.
Yes, it is giving father.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's very
but
that.
the one that you can trust.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah.
So I have a fun new game for you.
Okay.
We're gonna do what's the background of these famous memes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna tell you a meme, and you can make it stupid and dumb.
Okay.
Like, feel free to improv with it. We don't have to go like serious, but I do have the background of these memes.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
curious to see, like, I actually want you to like really get improv with it.
This is really funny because I am so like uncultured.
I know, but I suspect that these three might have broken through even for you.
Oh my god. Okay.
So there's the Doge dog, which is like the dog that's like looking at you behind its little shoulder.
Okay. Is that like it's like an orangish colored dog?
Yeah, it's a Shiba Inu. What do you think the background is of that little orange dog turning around to look at you that way?
I feel like he's like what do I think he's saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to caption it, it'd be like, in the context of me, it would be like, did somebody did somebody say Zelda? That's me.
Like when my ringtone sounded earlier, that'd be like, so it's a little perk.
Yeah, totally.
You're not too far off. So the Doge meme features a Shiba Inu dog named Kabosu, who became an internet sensation in 2010. The original photo was taken by her owner, Atsuko Sato, in 2008 and posted on her blog. The image became popular on Reddit and Tumblr, where users used Comic Sans text around Kabosu's face, expressing internal monologues in broken English, often starting with such, many, very, and so.
Yeah, like, so. I totally know what that is. I do know what that is. Yeah.
And Kabosu was a rescue dog, so shout out rescue doggies. Okay, the second one we have, distracted boyfriend. And it's the one where you see like a girl walking, and then behind her, there's a guy that's like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the girlfriend's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's distracted boyfriend. What do you think the background is of that meme?
I feel like it's giving, like, the girlfriend walking is like, I feel like, okay, the girlfriend with the boyfriend. Okay, the boyfriend turned around is like addressing the girl that's right here. That is cheese.
Okay.
The girlfriend is IBS.
So the origin of the distracted boyfriend meme comes from a stock photo taken by Spanish photographer Antonio Guillem in 2015. I'm always fascinated by the origin of things. It's like the etymology of memes.
Yeah.
The image shows a man walking with his girlfriend while turning to look at another woman. It was initially meant to depict concepts like infidelity and betrayal. The meme gained popularity in 2017 when it was used to represent various humorous and relatable situations involving distraction or temptation. The original title of the photo is Disloyal Man Walking with His Girlfriend and Looking Amazed at Another Seductive Girl. Why she gotta be seductive though? She's just walking, living her life.
She's just literally living her best life. She's just out there like doing her best, okay?
So the third and final, classique. What is the background of this famous meme? Woman yelling at cat. And it's a two-pane meme. And one side of the pane is like a cat that's like, and then on the other side of the pane is like a woman going like this.
Oh my God.
Does it sound familiar at all?
No, I feel like maybe if I saw it, I would like know.
Yes.
Yeah, you said let me pull it up.
Yes.
Teach
so
me
you while I pull it up,
yeah.
Imagine a woman yelling at a cat.
Okay.
What is the background of this meme?
Okay, I feel. Oh my God! Okay, that's from the Housewives. The
Yes.
Housewives of Beverly
Yes.
Hills.
Yes. You're right.
Okay, I feel like if she's yelling at this cat, oh my God, how delicious can I make this?
As I'm telling you, yes, and it.
Yes, and it. I feel like it's giving. You can't read the doll. That's it. That's all. That's it. You can't read the. That's Roxy Andrews down.
So good. Origin. The meme combines a scene from a 2011 episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with an image of a confused-looking cat named Smudge. Oh. Smudge is sitting at a dinner table. The yelling woman is Taylor Armstrong, and the cat photo was posted on Tumblr in 2018.
Yep.
This meme went viral in 2019 with the juxtaposition of Armstrong's emotional outburst and Smudge's nonchalant, bewildered expression. It became quickly popular for its versatility in expressing outrage versus indifference in various humorous contexts.
I live for that.
And that one is the woman is yelling as the IBS and the cat is the cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we're going to stay a little silly goosed here. And this is also a new game, but given your love of Zelda, which combined with my love of Zelda is like a Triforce should be like appearing behind us magically.
Gonna get nerdy. All right.
So I'm calling this Family Tree Coded.
Period. Okay.
And it's the Zelda Edition. And I'll tell you which are my choices.
Okay.
So that you can think. But I'm gonna give you like a family tree prompt.
Okay.
And it's like a person in the family tree. This is your family tree.
Okay.
And we're picking characters that we think would fit that little box in our family tree. So for example, and I'll tell you my answer, the first one.
Yeah.
Who would be your cool uncle or aunt? That's the family tree block. And for me, it would be Urbosa, the fierce and protective Gerudo champion.
Mother.
Is this
That's
your
mother?
Is that your mother?
No, down. That's so my mom. Urbosa is mother.
So in your family tree, Urbosa is mother.
Down. Absolutely.
Cute. Yeah, for me, okay. So then who's your cool aunt or auntie or uncle?
My cool aunt or auntie or uncle is Impa. Down.
Yes.
I love this game.
Who would be the overprotective parent? I feel like Urbosa's mother. Do we have an overprotective father? Mine, I feel like it's just parental units, and it's all the great fairies together.
Oh, sickening. I love that. Part of me wants to be like Raru.
Yeah.
But like at the same time. Okay, you know what? The overprotective parent would be the Great Deku Tree.
Yeah.
Actually.
Very wise.
Yeah.
That tracks. I like it. Who's the mischievous sibling? To me, it's Zelda, because she's the one that's getting us in trouble all the time.
Period. Honestly.
That's why we're questing.
Literally. I think Skull Kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Skull Kid.
What kind of adventures are you getting into with Skull Kid?
We are looting. We're looting things. We're stealing things. We're playing music in the park too late.
Yeah.
We are eating the community berries.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the mischief and the mayhem.
Yeah, see, because to me, Zelda's like that older sister that likes to sneak out with the boys.
Oh, yeah.
And so we learn to sneak out after the boys with her. But of course, we learn to be quiet, because Link is very quiet because you're sneaking out after the boys.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yes. Who would be the wise grandparent? For me, you've already mentioned, to me, it would be Impa, the wise and loyal Sheikah elder, known for her strategic mind.
Hell yeah.
Do you have another wise grandparent for your family tree?
I think a wise grandparent in the world of Zelda. I feel like...
Why do I feel like Beetle would be your wise grandfather?
Oh, I love Beetle! The crazy
just like
old
traveling
Beetle,
around,
actually,
sharing his wares.
I feel like I'm like, who would it be? I don't know.
Who would it be?
Part of me kind of thinks like Link a little bit.
Yes.
Because like he's been through so many things.
Yes.
And he's experienced so much. And I feel like old Link would be like I would totally listen to old Link.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I like that one. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
Last but not least, who is the gossipy cousin? For me, it's Cass, the traveling Rito.
Word.
Singing all the gossip all over the town.
I love that. I also feel like I mean that actually might be Zelda. That might be the gossip queen, because she's like I heard this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. It's like, actually maybe not, girl.
So Switch is kind of like a comfort blanket for you. What is it about games, especially games like Zelda, that resonate with you the way that they do?
This is a really good question.
Thank you. I have a podcast.
Well, yes. Well, yes, you're a professional. Of course. I think that for me, the reason why I got a Switch in the first place, because I was very set on like only being a retro gamer. I was like, only Nintendo 64, Sega, like Super Nintendo, like that. I was like, I want to keep that
Did you ever play Mystical Ninja Goemon on Nintendo 64?
Yes.
That's
That's such a rare game.
Shut the front door.
That's a rare ass game.
You are my people because this is my game that I keep saying I hope gets re-released on the Switch.
Yeah.
That's my dream, my only dream game. It'll never happen. And I bring this up to gamers all the time and people look at me like I'm crazy.
They don't know what that is. It's super rare. That's a very rare game.
It makes me want to get the 64 system again just to play that game.
Just to play that game.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. So me and one of my best friends, his name's Brandon. Hi, Brandon. He is like an ultimate Nintendo 64 collector. And he's got like super rare games, and he has that game, and we've definitely played it
so
before.
mad that like I sold that to like
I
make money
know.
back in the day.
I feel you. Well, on Switch, you can get a series of
haven't
Nintendo
found
64
it.
games.
I haven't found
Only
the
through the
Goemon.
membership, though.
Yeah, but I got it.
Yeah.
And I looked
But that's
for
not
it.
on it.
Yeah,
That's
come
not
on,
on
Nintendo.
it. You're like, give it to me. Show me to me, Rachel.
Yeah, but so tell me, what is it? Why does it bring so much comfort to you?
The reason I got a Switch in the first place, because I was like very anti like getting my own new systems.
Sure.
But I had a really long plane ride.
Yeah.
And I hate traveling. I love going places, but I
Sure.
do not enjoy the process of getting to wherever we're going.
Yeah.
I don't like planes.
Yeah.
I'm in a tube of death in the sky,
Yeah.
like essentially.
Yeah.
But after I got sober, doing things like that, like traveling, caused me so much anxiety, and that it would just make the whole experience just like not a sleigh for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a Switch for this plane ride because I had played with Lisa Frankenstein.
Yes.
I played Breath of the Wild with Lisa. And that game was like the most beautiful.
It's one of the most beautiful games
It was like
ever.
it was such a beautiful game, and
Yeah.
it like brought me so much like vitality.
I've
you
played
know?
it 4 times from the beginning.
Yeah, me too. It's so good.
Yeah.
And so like I Tears in the Kingdom was getting released when I was going to go on this big trip, and I
Yeah.
thought I'm gonna just get it just in case. And the amount of times that Switch has rounded me in times of turmoil, I can't even explain. Like I literally that specific plane ride had an 8-hour delay. So I was in the airport for 8 hours, and I was like, thank God I bought this Switch.
Oh my
Thank
God.
And it kept me like totally calm and like focused and like serene.
Yeah.
Because I could like get lost in that world.
Yeah.
And that world is a world that is like, although it's like dangerous and crazy, it's also like beautiful.
And comforting.
And comforting. And
Yeah.
I love the music. I like listen to the music all the time on Spotify. Or like whatever. I'll just like listen to it
Yeah.
on YouTube, whatever. But yeah, like I brought it with me there, and it like saved my ass there. Last year, Cochina Rude invited me to go with her. Invited both Lisa and I to go with her to Burning Man.
Oh, that's on my list.
It's never been on my list. I was always like, nah, I don't want to go to fucking Burning Man. Like a bunch of dirty white people out in the desert. Like, no way. But the person that actually like kind of gave me an extra nudge to go was Alaska. And Alaska Thunderfuck was like, you should go just to say you went.
Yes.
Like just to say you've had that experience. So I was like, all right, I'll go. And of course,
Fine.
literally last year was like a disastrous year for them.
Yes.
We had like multiple storms. We were stranded out there. Well, we weren't stranded out there because we were all together, but
Stuck.
we were like stuck out there. Like
Yeah.
we couldn't go anywhere.
That was the mud year, right?
Yep. Yep. Literally, it was like
I did not.
like
That
when
was
you're stuck in the
pun not
mud. Yeah, I was
intended.
like, yeah. But literally before I went there, and even Lisa was like, "Baby, like I want you to come out there and like unplug with me." And I was like,
Yeah.
"I also want to unplug." I was like, "I do not anticipate using this Switch at all," but I was like, just in case, I was like, I'm gonna like, just like wrap it up in plastic, like wrap it really good. I'm gonna put it underneath my car like seat
Yeah.
in my car, and then I'm gonna just like have it for just in case, like after being outdoors or like being out there with like not really anything but also a lot of things. It was like, okay, I'm gonna have this just as like a security
Comfort
safety net.
blanket.
And literally when it started raining and we couldn't go anywhere, I was so happy to have my Switch with me. And
Nintendo should sponsor you.
I know, sponsor me. No, it was like, I was like, thank God I have this. I mean, I love the way that it just brings me to a place of like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah.
Yes.
That's also like my neuro
Your
spiciness. So yeah. The Switch has brought me lots of joy.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, we have one tiny little break, and then we'll be right back for the last bit with Matt. Oh my God, no, I hate it when we get this close to the ending. No.
Perfect. Beware. I'm mostly done actually.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so fun. This is a good time, everyone.
Speaking of good times, welcome to Queers on Dice.
It's a fucking dragon. I'm sorry, Captain. Was that a below job or blow job?
We're gay. Do you get it? Did you figure that out yet?
Gay.
Who doesn't love singing like a man?
Yeah.
Speaking of singing like a man.
Hell yeah.
Walk like a man, talk like a man. Tell me about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at Oasis, where my artist crush on you was born.
Well, what do you want to know about it?
Tell me about the experience.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was, I think one of their first like all black cast shows at Oasis. Snacks is our director, another POC, a black POC slay.
Yeah.
She was great. She was an amazing
So
director.
she wrote it, right?
So we took it
But it's based off of TV shows, but there's some
We took it from the episode. Yeah.
So it's just the script.
That camp is from the script.
Oh.
But then we added in things to make it really gay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also like the more that we did it, the more comfortable we got with like the like dialogue of it all. So we would like add in little here's or there's or like adding in things that maybe weren't in those specific episodes but were our iconic parts of like that show.
Yeah.
So like doing the Carlton was like such a specific part of like Fresh Prince that is like so iconic to the show.
Yeah.
But that wasn't technically in the episodes that we chose. So we were like, how can we find a way to put this into that episode?
Yeah.
So things like that where we added in things and
you did like almost like 2 episodes kind of woven together, right?
Yeah. And I mean, they do anticipate doing it again.
Oh my God, thank you, because I was going to say this is my petition to bring it back because I think it should be a yearly show. I think it should be different episodes each year.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh my God, good.
Totally. And
I manifested this.
and we thank you for it. Thank you for your service.
No, I literally was in the car on the way home because one of those shows I went with Matt and like I was literally on the way home like, they need to do this every year. They need to do new episodes.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, but they have the Golden Girls. And I'm like, it's not the same thing.
It's different. Yeah.
This is not the Golden Girls.
Yeah. It is very different. It's very special. And I mean, those are my siblings. You know what I mean? Like working with my sibs is my favorite thing about drag. My favorite thing about drag is community. Like 1,000% hands down. My favorite thing about drag is like the people and the connection that you can get through other like brilliant artists, you know? So,
I just had an idea. This might be more of like a drag show night kind of a thing, but like a proud family night.
Baby, that would be so good. That was so good. Or just like black shows in general.
Yeah.
Just like a series of them would be great.
But I mean, La Cienega Boulevardes.
Baby.
If that's not drag, I don't know what is it.
So good. so good.
Well, speaking of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I have a very silly, probably very easy for you trivia game.
Okay. Oh God. Oh my God. We'll see. I'm scared. Oh no.
What is the name of the Banks' family butler?
You know what? I want to say Alfred, but that's not his name. That's who played. No.
I'm the worst with names, so don't worry.
No. So the person that played him in the show, his name is Alfred.
Yeah.
But the butler, what is his fucking name?
You know what's funny? I didn't get the answers here. So like we're legit the blind leading the blind here. Insert answer here when I look it up.
I know his fucking name. God, it's going to drive me crazy. No, nope.
That's a different TV show.
Oh my God. It's going to drive me crazy. Oh my God.
You get as I type it in.
I literally. Oh God, what's his name? It's like on the tip of my tongue.
5, 4,
no,
3.
I can't remember.
With a G. Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey. His name's Jeffrey. I was like a G. I'm thinking J.
I love that the squeal came out there.
Jeffrey.
Give me that squeal one more time.
Jeffrey. Damn it. Yeah.
Who is Will's best friend from Philadelphia?
DJ Jazzy J.
Yes. What song does Will Smith rap in the opening credits?
In West Philadelphia. What is that song called? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And last but not least, I don't know this answer, and I don't think it was part of these episodes, so I wouldn't blame you.
Oh my God, the pressure.
This is where like my producing como se dice preparation got a little loose. Who played Will's girlfriend Lisa on the show?
Queen Latifah. Oh. Wait. I think. Wait, there's an episode.
Because he has a few girlfriends.
Yeah.
Belle.
There's an episode.
Air Prince.
Yeah, Lisa.
Girlfriend Lisa.
It's somebody famous.
Oh, try again.
Tyra?
I'll give you one, but that is one of the girlfriends. But
yeah.
no, not this one.
I mean, there's so many.
I know, that's why I said there's so many girlfriends. Gosh, what's her name? No, that's not Leon Long, is it?
Yes.
Is that Nia Long?
Yes. Oh.
Watch us breed an iPad.
Literally.
Why do they not say the names? But that's Nia Long, right?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Nia Long!
Yeah, that is her.
Because I'm the worst with names. So Nia Long was the one that played Elise.
Oh my God. There was one time where it was an anniversary post, but it was the anniversary of the dad passing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, he passed away? Snacks is like, oh my God, Mud.
You're so cute.
I was like, oh my God, I'm the worst. It's what's ironic is like, I didn't have access to Fresh Prince growing up.
Okay.
So, but I did watch it later on in my life.
See, thank you, because I have this thing where I grew up and I moved around a lot as a kid. Like I was born in Puerto Rico. When I was a toddler, we lived in Italy. Then we were back in Puerto Rico. Then we were in Boulder, Colorado. Then we were back in Puerto Rico. Then we were in Washington State. Then we came to California. Like I literally changed schools. I think that I did the math like 7 times from kindergarten to like 12th grade.
Damn, that's crazy.
And so because of that, I don't always get cultural references because to me, sometimes I'm like, well, I was in Puerto Rico and like things take 3 years to get there. Like movies, at least when I was a kid, like a movie that would be in the movie theater in Puerto Rico would be like a super old movie already over here.
Well.
Yeah. Well. Colonizers be colonizing.
Well, yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, now comes the sad part of the show.
No.
Bring out your tissues.
Oh.
Bring out your emotional support switch.
I know. I'm like, let me go get it.
Tell the kiddos, the kittens, the Care Bears, the ghouls, the its in the audience where they can find you. Tell me about the gigs. What are the gig arenas?
The Gigianas?
Yes. What's
the Gigatondras?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Fun gigs.
Here are places you can almost always find me.
Yes.
Of course, you can find me at Princess at Oasis every Saturday. Or you can find me, I am the resident stage manager of Reparations, Nikki Jizz's Reparations. You can catch that at Oasis every second Friday of the month.
Nicole Jissington, friend of the pod.
Well, yes, Nicole Jissington, the icon, the diva, the drag queen of the year.
Yes.
Forever, it seems.
Pretty much.
The drag queen of the century, if you will. But some really exciting things that I get to be a part of. I will be performing this year at Outside Lands in Golden Gate Park on August 10th, which is so bananas and wild and bonkers, and I'm very excited for it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a sleigh. And then you can also I will be traveling this summer. I'm going to be doing a show called Magic Dyke, and it is a show that's being put on by Throb Zombie from Dragula.
Nice.
And the theme this year is Himbo Rodeo. So, or the cycle rather is Himbo Rodeo. So I will be giving Cowboy Down with a bunch of other incredible drag kings. I believe it's in Boston. So
Yeah.
I've never been to Boston. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it. And yeah, that's like a really big exciting thing that's happening like August 17th and 18th. It's like a 2-day situation. And yeah, and I'm really excited for that. So.
I'm loving this king renaissance.
Well, yes, it's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
No, for sure. I
It's-
mean, even me, like last season was when I first started featuring kings, and like it was some weird, like, como se dice, self-internalized.
You're like, wow.
misogyny
That's so
bullshit.
real. No, that's really real. Well, and I also think there's a certain type of like pressure or a certain type of expectation of kings that if it's not giving 100%, then people kind of assume that kings are like wah, wah. But I'm like, there's a lot of queens that are wah, wah. And there's a lot of
Yes.
things that are wah, wah. So
yes. Well, I work based off of data, and I can tell you that the stats show that kings tend to show up to the gigs, including this one, relatively on time, pretty usually. Not saying that other people don't.
You
but
said
there's
it's for
such a thing
gay
as a drag
science.
time.
This is gay science, okay? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that there is a level of like professionalism and like
Yeah.
I don't know, drive that kings have because like at the end of the day, misogyny exists in most spaces, and
Yeah.
so we have to prove that wrong.
Have you had any like overt expressions of like people not being happy with you? Like I have this this idea, and I didn't see it, but I remember her tweeting about it. Courtney Conkers, who's part of Drag Coven, that they were out at a club and somebody literally like poured a beer over their head.
I think that
Not to wrap it up on a downer, but
no, it's not a downer. This is a real thing. I think for me, my personal experience has been pretty positive for the most part.
Yeah.
I do recognize it though. It's really easy to clock it. And I just take a mental note of either the person or the space that did some sort of damage to me or to my people. And I'm like, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because I have really big fish to fry. And I will remember for the rest of forever how you treated me or my people in this space.
Oh, for sure.
And so those like mental notes, I'm just like, watch your step, stay in your lane, because there are very progressive drag artists out there, and I feel like I'm transcending in the drag world in the sense that like I'm getting more recognition, and
yes,
I do have more opportunities than I used to, but I remember who has my back and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So
same.
So don't try to come for us, girl.
I know.
Because I will remember. Mind you, I'm a person that I'm really good about addressing things pretty head on.
Sure.
But if it's like an institutionalized situation or if it's like a systemic problem, I'm like, all right, I know that this is a bigger issue that I can't maybe necessarily put my energy into to make a difference, but down the line, I'm gonna remember this. You know?
Yeah,
So
because not everything is ours to fix, but we also, when we are in a position to sway and make difference, I think it's good to
1,000%.
pull those polls whenever you can.
A zillion, gajillion, bajillion percent.
Yeah.
So.
Anywho, oh my God, I could literally talk to you for like 2 more hours.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Well, you're definitely gonna come and hang.
Yeah.
Not pod related.
I'm gonna be swimming at this diva's house, at her castle. So
catch us in our merman and mermaid bubbles.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well,
You're so great. I love you so much. Thank you for inviting me to do this with you. This is so special.
I'm legit honored.
The honor is mine.
No, I'm honored.
No.
We start wrestling.
My leg. Yeah.
Well, with that, actually, before we go,
yes.
New season, it's upon us. It's happening right now.
Right here, baby.
There's a Patreon that's coming your way. It actually is probably live right now, where you can catch back episodes with other icons like Heckelina, Peaches Christ, Bob the Drag Queen.
Big slay.
So many people, and then other people from the community who are just amazing people. You can find those on Patreon. The Patreon is gonna have a honey level, a sugar level, and a caramel level.
Oh my.
And depending on the tiers, you can have, and they go $3, $6, $9. I mean, come on.
Get into it.
Yes.
That's a deal, mama.
And so it goes from having access to the back catalog to some of the tiers, you get stickers in the mail, to the top caramel tier, you're going to get a merch t-shirt every 6 months. You're just going to get a t-shirt every 6 months in the mail.
Fun.
And a different one, because we're going to be making new merch. I'm working on merch right now. I pulled some really fun pictures out of the archives. This amazing photo shoot that I did like almost 20 years ago.
You better work.
And the vibe is very much coming back right now, because of course everything's cyclical. So
yeah, always.
Yeah, so insert here, the vibe is kind of like old school band vintage t-shirt.
Oh yes.
But I am the band.
Well, yes, absolutely. Wow, I live.
Yes. What else? So the Patreon, go to the website. The website got a complete facelift. It's looking really cute and new, sofepod.com. And lastly, episode number 100 is literally around the corner. We've been doing this thing.
Oh, baby.
Yes. So we're going to have some iconic guests that have been on the show before. Florida Man and Mama Celeste. If you play the drinking game along the way, you've probably heard those names a lot, and you're probably very drunk right now. Not in this episode, though, but along the way. So we're going to do a cute journey down history lane of Sophie Pod, where we've been, where we're going. And speaking of where we're going, I had the first live show last year where I got into drag for the first time. And Mama put me in drag, and Shiksa put me in drag, and Chucha put me in drag. And they were my drag fairy drag mothers.
Love.
And so at some point, who knows when, but we're manifesting, the next live show is going to be when I have fairy drag fathers.
Oh.
Turn me into Mal Conejo, because I'm only doing Bad Bunny songs.
You better work. That's so good.
So maybe,
just
maybe you might be one of those
just
fairy
maybe.
drag fathers. We'll see.
Stunning. I live.
Okay.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye. Yay. Oh my gosh. How fun.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events.